3K. My niggas the hot topic when we hit the streets. Paparazzi photoshopping, I can't get no peace.
Yo, what's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Fah Fah. You know what it is, man. Coming here today to talk to y'all about a little boxing breaking news, man. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and jump right into it. And it's some unfortunate news, but I kind of knew this was gonna happen, considering certain people like to duck and dodge things such as VADA, the voluntary, anti-doping agency, for those casuals who don't know what I'm talking about. And this is in regards to June 1st, the Madison Square Garden takeoff against Jarrell Big Baby Miller and Anthony Joshua. No, it is not Anthony Joshua, so all of y'all could, sip your tea, your coffee, your brew, or whatever it is at this time of day, morning, evening, or night, or whatever part of the country, or whatever country you are in. Yes, it was not Anthony Joshua, it was Big Baby Miller.
Peanut butter and crusting.
Yes, Big Baby Miller tested positive for a doping agent called GW15016. GW01516 is Endurbolled. Basically, what they call the GW15016 is basically one of the worst steroids that you could use for your body. Basically, they say it's endurance in a pill. It basically heightens your endurance up 70% than what it usually is. And I already kind of was hip to the fact that Jarrell Big Baby Miller was probably on the sauce anyway.
I see it in your face. I got the good stuff.
All right now.
Cocaine, pills, whatever you want.
Because think about it. This guy is, I'd say, about 6'1 to 6'2". Clock 6'1", 6'2", 315 pounds, and he keeps the same work rate from the first round to the 12th. Now, I already knew that was a problem, because if you think about his size and weight, there's no way that a person that big, mathematically can move that way. Yeah, we get a couple once in a generation players like a Zion Williamson from Duke, but he's 6'7", 280 pounds and can move east to west, so that by that height to weight ratio matches out. You got guys like LeBron James, 6'8", 6'9", 255 pounds, fastest NBA player east to west, running up and down the floor. Still probably one of the top 10 fastest guys in the NBA to this day. But his body's just genetic makeup maps out, and he's cut, and he has the right build for that. Jarrell Big Baby Miller is more like the Big Baby Huey body, big, kind of top heavy guy, that just should not be able to move his head, have his footwork, and move around the ring the way he does. I'm not saying that that's something that couldn't be in his game plan, because we are very athletic, in my background. But at the same time, I'm talking about my demographic, as in, African Americans are naturally gifted in athletics. But when it comes to his size and genetic makeup, I just don't think that he would be able to pour that type of workload on, be throwing 80 to 100 times in a round. If that, I'd say around 50 to 70 is what he usually throw, 40 to 70. Who knows, man? Don't quote me on that. But yeah, he can't move around like that. So yes, he was caught doping. Eddie Hearn brought it to our attention, and I'm sure a couple other outlets gave y'all that news too. You know me, I tend to do my thing a little bit, get off track. Life takes a hold of some things, and plus, my daughter was down, so I had a lot of stuff to do, so I couldn't record in the middle of all of that. So yeah, man, so this isn't good for Big Baby. And, a lot of people are probably hoping that Luis Ortiz steps in. Now, who is hoping Luis Ortiz steps in? I don't hope Luis Ortiz steps in. I'm not saying that that's, a knock against Anthony Joshua, or that's a knock against Luis Ortiz for opposition. But let's talk about this here, man. Luis Ortiz is old. And if y'all watched my last video, I said, man, Dillian Whyte is currently surviving the WBC and surviving Wilder, in a sense where I say he is trying to get his WBC mandatory, which he rightfully owes, and he's rightfully owed. And I just watched, this 45-minute documentary that BBC did on Dillian Whyte, following his journey off after Dillian Whyte AJ2, because they fought in the amateurs and they fought again in the pros when Dillian Whyte was 16-0, and Anthony Joshua will put his head, bounce his head off the canvas. But now they are worlds from, you know what I'm saying, Commonwealth level. They are world level now. These are the upper echelon in the heavyweight division. And to see these guys go at it would be remarkable. And I think this is the perfect time for Dillian Whyte to seize the moment and seize the purse that he's looking for. And, you know, so go ahead, you know what I'm saying. And if you feel like you need a two-way rematch clause, man, try to go ahead and get that. Because honestly, I think, you know, Anthony Joshua would dispose of Luis Ortiz quite fast. Him being a southpaw isn't that, you know what I'm saying, effective to Anthony Joshua's skill set. And Luis Ortiz keeps his feet planted. He's an easier target, you know what I'm saying, to touch. And I just feel like Anthony Joshua will get him out the way very fast, man. Looking at the last fight he fought that sloppy ass Christian Hammer, you know what I mean? And I just don't think that going from Christian Hammer to Anthony Joshua was going to help him out, especially in short notice. So I don't think that Luis Ortiz would be that much of a threat. But it's a fight, I would say that, you know what I'm saying, that's more the LDBC agenda. You know, the people that have problems with Anthony Joshua want to see him get in the ring with Luis Ortiz because they're like, oh, Deontay Wilder did it, so why don't you did it? You know what I mean? But when the shoe's on the other foot, when Deontay Wilder's taking on Dominic Brazil, they aren't saying the same things about Anthony Joshua. Let's just go ahead and slice it the way it is, man. It's not 50-50. So, you know, Big Baby's got caught for doping.
Okay. So you want 2 8-ball and you want the 2 what's his name, right?
Peanut butter and crusting.
And as I'm looking on the boxing scene, I believe Johnny Nelson was quoted in an article, you know, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring y'all that. So, you know what I'm saying, I know y'all want to hear that, and I know y'all going to like that. So, let's go ahead and get it in, man. Gang, if you understand. Okay, so the title of, you know, the post is called Nelson. If Miller fails a second test, severe punishment is needed. Okay, so here's the article. I'm going to give it to y'all. Y'all know how I like to do, so I might give y'all a little breakdowns in between. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Two Hands Up. This is the 2 Hands Up show, and y'all already know what it is. Let's get it. As previously reported on BoxingScene.com, Anthony Joshua's next scheduled opponent was supposed to be Jarrell Miller. Has returned to adverse finding in a test conducted last month by the Voluntary Doping Agency Association, which is also known as VADA. According to promoter Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, 22-0, is set to defend his WBA, IBF, IBO, and WO heavyweight titles on his American debut. The similarly undefeated Miller at Madison Square Garden on June 1st, but while the 2012 Olympic gold medalist continues preparation for the fight, Hearn, who represents both fighters, under his Matchroom banner, and I'm going to pause right there. That's got to be kind of a sticky situation for Eddie Hearn, considering that, you know, he manages Big Baby as well. You know what I'm saying? That's such a stain, man. You know, when you get caught for doping, and I don't know if y'all know, but Big Baby Miller used to be a world-class kickboxer, and he used to fight for Glory, which is a big kickboxing promotion, and he got popped for doping in his Glory days too. Now that makes what I think like 5 out of the guys in the top 10 heavyweights have got caught for doping so far. Dillian Whyte, Luis Ortiz, Big Baby Miller, Tyson Fury, and who else? I think it might have been Kubrat Pulev, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong about Kubrat Pulev, I'm sorry. My Bulgarian bro, but yeah, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyway, let's continue. But while the 2012 Olympic gold medalist continues preparation for the fight, Hearn, who represents both fighters under his Matchroom banner, revealed he had been informed of an adverse finding from the New Yorker Miller. All right, we have been informed by VADA that there has been an adverse finding in Jarrell Miller's sample collected on March 20th, 2019. Hearn wrote on Twitter, "We are working with all relevant parties and will update the details soon." AJ's preparation continues for June 1st as MSG. The former Cruiserweight World Champion and Sky Sports pundit Johnny Nelson shocked with the news. And this is what Johnny Nelson had to say about it. It's a total shock if it is true. It is a foolish situation to be in. If he fails a second test, he has gotten to be punished severely. I remember Lennox Lewis boxing Vitaly Klitschko. Klitschko was a stand-in that became a life and death situation. It was a tough fight, but Lewis won. Nelson told Sky Sports. The replacement opponents who come in 6 weeks before the fight are the hard opponents. These are the ones you can't get up for. To obsess over. For them, it is a massive opportunity. The name that could come to mind is Kubrat Pulev, who would have fought Joshua before, but for the injury, that's a strong possibility. And let's stop right there. I don't think Kubrat Pulev would be the guy that steps in, considering all of the things that he's got going on with Jenny Sushi, and a couple guys in my comments wanted me to touch on that, but that's just some messy shit, and it really don't have nothing to do with his sport. And I just think as a professional, I just think that was out of poor taste, and it's just not some shit I want to touch on. If everybody else want to talk about it and try to boost their views, let them do that, man. But I'm gonna stick to the sweet science and our usual bullshit, because Deontay Wilder is already enough. So yeah, and that's just another guy in the past like week and a half, I would say 2 weeks at best, that has been popped for PEDs, and fucking for my fucking sake, to this Maryland flag to the back of me that I try to rep so hard and honor the best way I can, it would be two American niggas too, man.
I'm not doing anything illegal. Don't take my
Peanut butter and crusty.
What more do you want from me?
But, you know, and then don't nobody give a fuck about, you know what I'm saying, Marcellus Wilder, who got his head knocked off by William Dietz, even though he came back to reclaim a dub, but he had to do it on the juice. So I'm pretty sure that he got knocked out by a fucking bum. Journeyman William Dietz, dude. He got knocked out by William fucking Dietz while he was on the juice. That should make him feel extra bad. Now he's gonna crawl underneath the rock of all rocks and just hide out, bruh. Because that's all you can do. It's hard, like I said, it's hard enough talking about Deontay Wilder, keeping up with all this bullshit. I could care less about the Jenny Sushi fucking liberal woman empowerment drama and all of the bullshit that comes along with that, and Kubrat Pulev mixing in and shit. He could barely speak American, so it ain't even like he could speak too much up on it, and I just really don't even care about touching on it, man. So Kubrat, I wish you the best. We already know that these women play tricks, man, but you kind of set yourself up for that one. Anyway, so let's continue. So yeah, I just don't see Kubrat Pulev being the next guy to step in. So then there is the dangerous, and you see they try to put emphasis on the dangerous Luis Ortiz, who I don't feel as though is dangerous. He's just overrated to me, even though he had Deontay Wilder on his bicycle, and the ref let Deontay Wilder go for water, a coffee break, get a snack, and then come back to the ring and get his head back right to come knock him out. And we believe I like the 9th through 11th round, but yeah, he got the W. So yeah, man. But everybody believes him to be dangerous. I believe it to be a match that Anthony Joshua could easily win. But it's a fight everybody wants to see. Me particularly, I want Dillian Whyte to get that. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue where I left off. Then there was the dangerous Luis Ortiz, who has lost to Deontay Wilder before. An outside bet is Michael Hunter. I'm just going to pretend like I didn't even hear that. But there are options out there. But with only 6 weeks left, anybody who can who steps in and knows they are up against Anthony Joshua is very formidable. Miller, who is 23-0-1, last fought in November, beating Romanian Bogdan Dinu. And if nobody is familiar with Bogdan Dinu, that's the guy that Kubrat Pulev just beat, part-time, you know what I'm saying, pro boxer. Very good, formidable opponent, but, you know what I'm saying, splits his time with the Bulgarian or Romanian task force. The Romanian task force. So yeah, the Romanian Bogdan Dino inside 4 rounds, 2 months on from Joshua stopping Russian's former world champion Alexander Povetkin at Wembley in 7. So yeah, that's Johnny Nelson's take on it. So you know what I mean? Basically, what Johnny Nelson is basically trying to say, if you guys aren't really catching on, digging what he putting down, is basically that if you're not picking up what he putting down, it's basically that he's trying to say that it should be a severe punishment for the fact that he knew he was signing up for Vada, so he was probably trying to get all of the shit out of his blood and out his urine and shit. But the fact of the matter is that, you know what I'm saying, so if his next test comes up after that he still has Endurbolled in his system, that, you know, he should be severely punished, and he is right. You know what I mean? He should face some type of suspension of 9 to 18 months or whatever it may be. But I just think the fact that him not being able to fight Anthony Joshua, and he's supposed to earn upward of I think $6.5 to $7.5 million for the Joshua bout, which will be the highest person in his life. That's already going to be the biggest kick in the nuts right there. So, that's the breaking news we got for today. We are looking for an opponent for Anthony Joshua. I would just say, run the contract up. Dillian Whyte's been busy. We don't have him in the ring with anybody yet, and we already know he's slated to want to come back July 18th or July 13th, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I would much rather want to see the Dillian Whyte AJ3 match. I think that would be more magnifying. It would be more prolific. And the ticket sales, you already know it's going to sell out the house regardless, man. And but that's something Dillian Whyte would have to think about. Is he going to want to sit after Brazil and wait if he gets a hold of, Chenny Wilder? Or does he want to go up against AJ and try to redeem that loss? Or is he trying to wait to bring all the belts together before he do it? Y'all know how I feel about Dill, man. Y'all know how I feel about the whole situation. If Luis Ortiz gets it, hey, that's a good enough filler, for all of my DAZN subscribers to get a good match in that night. And one more thing about the June 1st battle. We have an undisputed match coming up between Delphine Persoons and Katie Taylor. So that should be a banger. Delphine Persoons is probably the longest reigning WBC belt holder for women in history. You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a banging fight. But do I see Delphine Persoons winning? I don't know. It all depends on, what type of activity and work weight she got in the room, because we know Katie Taylor brings it. She's a high volume puncher, and she doesn't mind mixing it up on the inside to get her W. She's a nasty fighter, and she's got, she's got pretty hard, she's got power in both hands. So can Delphine Persoons win? I don't know. We'll have to see, but that is a good matchup on the card. And for some other news, Teofimo Lopez really believes that he has, the correct mathematical equation to solve the problem, that is Vasily the Matrix Lomachenko, otherwise as Neo, or Nomazchenko as I like to call him. He said everybody gets too gassed up and they focus so much on the footwork and so much on everything else that he's doing that they get too mesmerized with what Vasily got going on in the ring. So that's basically what I've been telling people all the time. Too many people let Loma dictate the pace when really you have to make him fight your fight. Teofimo Lopez definitely has power in both hands. Everybody he's been fighting on his way up has had no more than 1 or 2 losses. He's been fighting highly ranked guys in his division, and he's pretty much number 4 or number 5 across all major sanctioning boards, man. So Teofimo Lopez is ready, but he only has, I think, 12 or 13 fights, no losses. So, they probably trying to pump the brakes on that. But Teofimo was gunning for it. He's a guy that, likes to bump his gums a lot, man. He's a Brooklyn native, so you already know he like to pop his shit. And to be perfectly honest, there isn't too much for Vasily Lomachenko out there. So if he wants a tough match that is high risk and not a really high reward for himself, that's probably the reason he could throw it off. But if you really want a good banging battle and you want to give the people something to look for, man, let's just see if, that Teofimo thing works out. But that's all the news I got for y'all today, man. Let's stay tuned, man. AJ, keep your head up, keep training. Luis Ortiz, keep training. You might get the shot. Dillian Whyte, I know you ready. And if y'all haven't watched, y'all need to watch Dillian Whyte on the journey to the title on BBC. It's 45 minutes to an hour documentary following Dillian Whyte's life through his champ and training, going through the emotions of the business and all of that. And it's just a really fucking good documentary. And as of April 24th, we've got Amir Khan versus Bud Crawford coming up. I haven't talked about that too much because I'm not the biggest Amir Khan fan. He's got 4 losses, you know what I'm saying? He's fighting against Bud Crawford, even though he's very stylistic at the middleweight. I just believe that Bud Crawford is a whole nother animal. He's the number 1 pound for pound king on my board, and I just don't see Amir Khan beating him. Amir Khan's very chinny, and if you look at him through the course as the rounds go on, man, he gets kind of gas. So if Amir Khan can't get you out of there within the first 5 or 6 rounds, dude, he just don't pour it on his late. And we know Terrence Crawford, he comes on more and more and adjusts as rounds go through the fight, and he's very cocky and confident in his style, and he likes to switch it up, mix it up, and he'll get you out of there. And his power carries over from 1 to 12 if y'all didn't just recently watch the Benavidez match. So his power power is carried up into the welterweight division. It's a fight that I'm going to watch, but I really don't see Amir Khan winning, but I will be tuning in because if he has the head speed, if he has the movement and the footwork and the confidence to get the job done, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm going to tune in for it. I like good fights just as well as you do. You know what I'm saying? As always, man, this is your man 3K the Boss, a.k.a. Mr. Two Hands Up. Fah Fah. You know what it is, and this is the Two Hands Up show, man. I'm glad that I could bring y'all the boxing news, man. I'm back, and as we always say at the end of this joint, man, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. And for all of my dudes that's going to tune in to Danny Garcia, Granados, that's going to tune in to Bud Crawford, that's going to tune in to Bud Crawford, Amir Khan, man, you're going to get Teofimo Lopez, and you're going to get Shakur Stevenson in the same fight in the same night, man. So y'all just tune in. We got a lot of great boxing coming up, man, and I will bring y'all more bullshit. And, of course, I got a nice segment coming from my man Jared Swift Hurd, you know what I'm saying, Maryland native, that will be taking on Julian J. Rock Williams in Fairfax, you know what I'm saying, coming up in May. So y'all be blessed, man, and as always, respect though.